Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos. Another paid request, this time for my good friend Efree. Sorry that it took a while to get to this. Some of these films I had to find because I thought I had some of them, but I did not, so I had to find them online. But he wanted me to do a little bit of like a Paul Walker mini marathon. 4 movies, all of them with Paul Walker, who passed away way too soon. I mean, passed away, I think about 10 years ago, give or take. So, of the 4 films, first we started with The Lazarus Project, which Sally is one of those films I remember watching and watch it now that just wasn't impressed by. Now, for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. It could be review, topic, reaction, commentary, whatever it may be. Now, like I said, Paul Walker is one of those guys that when I first saw him, I'm like, I don't know about this guy. What is he? He's a pretty boy, blah, blah, blah. But the more he did stuff, the more I liked. And there are a decent amount of films he did that I did end up enjoying. Some I'll be talking about. Others, Hours, I still think is a damn good film. Very underrated. Vehicle 19 is one of the reviews coming up, and I still do enjoy that film. Brick Mansions I even liked and had fun with. So I was really warming up to him, and then Sally, terrible accident, took him away, and it's too bad. And you could easily say that even if you were to the Fast and Furious films, without him, it's just not the same. This isn't the same. But the Lazarus Project, Paul Walker is a guy who's trying to go through the straight and narrow. He has a criminal background, but he has a job. He's trying to provide for his family. His wife is played by an actress, Piper Perabo. And one day his brother, Sean Hatosi, who I remember was one of the kids in The Faculty, the Robert Rodriguez film from the 90s. And pretty much saying, hey, I have this job offer. He's like, nah, but then he gets fired. Even though the boss try to help him, but the owners put pressure on him, like your criminal background. I know you're doing a good job, but they're forcing me to let you go. So, granted, you would think he would look a bit more, because, like, okay, I'm going to try to find another job, and I'm going to do... But he really doesn't. Like, within 5 minutes of being fired, he doesn't even try to find another job, doesn't even try to find another piece of avenue to, or revenue to show, to try to get. It's like immediately, boom, he goes into this job, this heist that his brother set up, because his brother also admits later on that he owes money. So they do the heist, things go wrong, everybody's dead except him, he gets caught, he gets knocked out, he's in jail, and he's going to be given a lethal injection. He does, he wakes up, and then he doesn't really seem like out of shock, confused, which I thought was strange. So that's the thing, like, I don't know how much time has passed, because he's like, wait a minute, I thought I'm dead. Like, he's just kind of walking like a zombie, gets picked up by Bob Gunton, who I remember he's the evil warden in the Shawshank Redemption. He's been a lot of other stuff. He's playing a priest in this small town. It's you're the new groundskeeper for this mental hospital. You also have Linda Cardellini, who was Velma in the live-action Scooby-Doo films. She plays this counselor. And then really, a lot of the film is just really dull and really fucking boring. There are times Paul Walker gets these mental flashes. He's hanging around the mental hospital. He's talking to Linda Cardellini. He teaches him about how he wants to go home. But then this guy who says he's an angel says you can't. He gets on the bus, but he gets off a bus. Then he finds a newspaper that says that the bus that crashed. There's not really a whole lot happening. It's pretty much just him kind of wandering around, doing his job, talking with, a patient here or a patient there. has a dog that he names Dog, and people go, why you name it Dog? Does it like the word dog? So it's just, no dog, no, or run dog. I'm like, just give him a fucking name, man. Also, he runs into this patient who, spoiler alert, I'll spoil it because this movie is just, again, I like Paul Walker, man, I miss the guy, but this film, it was trying to be like Shutter Island and other movies where it's trying to be what is real, what is not real, but the hallucinations and visions he has aren't really that interesting, aren't really that creative, definitely not creepy or scary, so I don't know what they really offer. I guess you could say it's trying to be a mystery, but it goes at such a slow, dullard pace that you don't really get pulled into it to be intrigued as a mystery. There isn't really a lot of twists and turns. It just, again, him kind of wandering around, maybe going to get together with this Linda Cardellini, being adamant about his wife and kid. But I don't know how else to explain it. There's not a whole lot happening until this patient he was talking to jumps and dies. At one point, he runs and he knocks himself out, and then he wakes up, and then Bob Gunton goes, "You're a patient. Your family has been dead. You never had a dog." And by this, with the way the movie's been constructed, the way the movie's been going, I didn't buy this at all. I never went, oh no. It just, something about it just never bought it. Never bought into it. Just like I said, there's nothing that crazy or kooky or weird going on. And that's the thing is that even when I'm first watching, I'm going, I don't buy. Because I didn't see a lot of vivid, crazy hallucinations. Maybe he sees a shadow once in a while. I didn't buy this guy saying that he was an angel and stuff. I don't just the way he was directed or the way he was written. There's nothing that really pulled me into the movie. What you kind of find out is big spoilers. After he's told that no, you've been a patient that's been to the hospital for a while, and no, your family is dead, and blah blah blah. He goes back to Bob Gunton's office, and for some reason, the guy's computer is able to be turned on, and there's no password protection. Like, he's literally, Paul Walker just touches the computer and finds all this heavy, secret, keep it on the low down shit that's not protected at all on the computer. I'm sitting there going, why you have it on your computer at all, dude? And why is it not protected? Why is it not, maybe on a laptop that you keep with you, or all sorts of protection and passwords? And no, he just turns it on, finds all the shit that he needs to know, copies it on a USB. I mean, wow, that was fucking easy. That was fucking simple and easy. Realizes there's an implant in him, and then realizes that this has all been a project, that they take people who they fake their deaths, bring them to this community, and then with these implants, like they'll see a bit of hallucinations here and there, and to try to make them into better people. And even the ending really isn't that exciting. It's pretty much he gets the USB, he gets the files. He goes about this cabin he used to be in this community, and finds that there's cameras there. Finds the people who are watching him. Confronts the guy who's an angel, but he's just a worker there. And Bob Gunton. Bob Gunton does the James Bond explanatory, let me tell you the whole plot now. And Paul Walker's like, hey, you know what? I put that USB and I sent it to someone. You don't let me go? Because if you don't, that USB is going to go to a lot of newspapers. Gonna get to the news. And then they just let him go. Those two, then Linda Cardellini shows up and another guy shows up. They just let him go. And he's able to find that dog he had earlier, and they go off. They get home to his wife and kid, and the movie's over. I mean, I can appreciate that it's not the typical bummer, it's all in his head ending like a lot of these movies tend to do. It's kind of the more easier route. It's all in his head, he's crazy. I'm glad they didn't do that. Because there's always a catch-22, because whenever you try to do a heavy conspiracy, there's always the thought process of how could they actually pull this off? How much money could they have? Where do they get the money to support this project? There's always those questions that arise, which is why I think more people tend to just go with it. It's all in his head, because it's easier just, you don't have to explain as much. You just go, it's all in his head. There you go. If that didn't make sense, doesn't matter. It was all in his head. So I do appreciate that it tried to do at least a bit of a different ending compared to others. But it just kind of, you go, oh, that's it? It just seems very mundane. I never really felt Paul Walker's character was in danger, or him really going crazy. Like I say, it wasn't really that creepy or scary. The wife character, she's at the very beginning and at the very, very end. She's not given a whole lot to do. And it's like, it does make you question why they do certain things. Like, would this really try to fix people? You know, you're trying to make a guy forget about his wife and kid, and then you try to say, oh yeah, you've been a mental patient here all your life. Well, how is that really going to make him better? How is that really going to, quote, fix him? It just seemed like a weird, kind of useless, pointless experiment at the end of the day. And like, all you have to do is just go to the guy's computer that he left on with no password protection, have one USB, and go, better leave me alone. We're going to go to the news, and then they just let him go. There's no action, there's no excitement, there's no suspense. This for me just comes off as a very dull, boring film. That just, I don't know, didn't really do much for me. I remember when I first saw it, I went, you know, it's not the worst thing ever, it's not making me angry or upset, it just, you know, if it was directed, I'm not saying the story, but it was directed with style like Jacob's Ladder or Session 9 in terms of style and suspense, that could have really helped a lot. And yeah, it just wasn't much. That's why it's hard to talk about. There just wasn't really much to it. That's just me, though. But with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.